Extreme times can give rise to extreme measures. Glenn Spencer is the president and founder of the American Border Patrol. He believes the U.S. government is failing to stem the tide of illegal immigration and the invasion of drug traffickers.
The cartels, they want to blow us up.
Now, his mission is to stand sentinel on the border and report what he sees, even if that means placing his own life at risk.
He had this big pistol. He pulls it out and he pointed right at the truck.
To some, he's a reactionary. To others, he's just doing what any brave citizen would do.
I love the rule of law, and I love the United States, and I think it's being put at risk in many, many ways.
The border, the lawless frontier between Mexico and the U.S., where human traffickers, drug cartels, bandits, and killers ply their trade. And facing this invading army is a thin line of law enforcement and volunteers. Their stories now on Border Battles. In 1989, Muriel Watson, the grieving widow of a slain U.S. Border Patrol agent, asks 24 friends to line their cars up on the border between the U.S. and Mexico and shine their headlights over it as both a tribute and a protest.
At 9 o'clock at night, they turned their lights on. Well, there were hundreds of people rushing right across the border. There was no fence, nothing. So they kept coming back month after month, and a year later, they had 1,500 cars out there. And this led to the construction of the San Diego fence.
Muriel Watson's Light Up the Border crusade is not lost on Glenn Spencer, a man who sees himself as a crusader. At the time, Spencer is host of a Southern California radio show that lets him air his hardline views about illegal immigration and border security. Spencer interviews Watson for his program.
First of all, we needed lights along the border, and
to do what?
To light up the area so that the smugglers didn't have the darkness to work under.
To expose them.
Right.
I interviewed her, and I said, Muriel, you used these vehicle lights to shed light on the border problem, and this brought the attention of the people, and something was done. I said, you know what we could do is we could do that with the internet. Thus was born the idea of American Border Patrol.
In 2002, Spencer launches the American Border Patrol website as a place to voice his opinions. ABP's mission is clear.
The principal goals and objectives of American Border Patrol by its charter is really education of the American people about the situation on the border. And that education includes defining the border problem, showing what is being done to solve the problem, and demonstrating ways that can be helpful.
Glenn Spencer moves from California to Sierra Vista, Arizona, to put himself on the front lines of the border battles. He wants to be an eyewitness to what's transpiring and take action.
The ranch is on the border. My southern neighbor is Mexico, and it's a little over 100 acres. It is high desert, 4,600 feet, lots of mesquite, except along the river you see a lot of cottonwood. So it's a rolling area inundated by washes. Because of the monsoons and these deep washes, it gives you really good places to hide when you're crossing the border.
Just a thin barbed wire fence is all that stands between Glenn's ranch and ranches he's been told by officials are owned by Mexican drug cartels.
When I first moved in here, you didn't want to walk anywhere on this property for fear of being run down. I could not let my dogs out of the yard because these pickup trucks loaded with drugs would be racing through, and it was very dangerous.